As you can see, the stadium is jam-packed. There's thousands here, weathering the sub 20-degree temps. It's so cold, the fountain drinks froze. They couldn't sell fountain drinks. You get a beer like me, the beer froze by the time I started drinking it.
Ooh. Listen, he's bundled up though.
Oh, we brought a blanket.
He's looking good out there.
I know, right? He's got a ski jacket on. WFAA's Matt Howerton rooting on his alma mater, Baylor, at the Armed Forces Bowl yesterday. You heard him mention drinks were frozen. He was not being dramatic. That is how cold it is. And if you do have to head out this morning, layer up. It's going to be even colder this morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm Kara Sewell.
And I'm Cleo Green, in for Mark Istook. Meteorologist Maria Ruiz is in for Greg this morning. Mariel, I guess, how long is it safe to be outside?
That's a tricky question.
Yeah.
So any exposed skin, whenever you have sub-zero temperatures, can cause can have some frostbite, 5 to 10 minutes.
Wow. So really, if you're doing anything outdoors, if you can avoid that today, it's a good option.
Absolutely. It's the wind that's really the dangerous part, because that is what brings down the wind chill significantly. So as long as you're covered up, we talked about the wind chill yesterday, and if you're looking for that explainer, it's on WFAA.com. We have this thin layer of just warmth right above our skins, and anytime the wind picks up, it kind of takes it away. That's why we talk about a wind chill very often, and this morning the wind chill is sub-zero across all of North Texas. That's why there is a wind chill advisory in place. Right now 11 degrees at DFW Airport, but it actually feels like -6. It's very dry out there, and it's still on the windy side. Winds out of the north and west about 10-20 miles per hour. So yeah, if you have to be outdoors, you want to make sure you are completely covered up. You want to make sure to cover your head, make sure to cover, long sleeves, gloves. You want to make sure to wear that scarf, anything you can do to really limit your skin's exposure to the conditions outdoors. And again, that wind advisory is in place because wind chills this morning at one point did get down to about -12 to 13, and that is in some locations closer to the Red River. A few locations, actual temperatures though, 12 degrees in Wiley, 11 in Rockwall, Mesquite, and in Terrell, about 11 degrees in Kaufman, 12 degrees for Grand Prairie, Arlington, 11 in Benbrook and in Bridgeport, about 10 in Weatherford. But factor in that still gusty north wind, it actually feels like -6 at DFW and in Louisville, as well as in Fort Worth. It feels like 0 degrees in Benbrook, -5 in Mesquite and in Terrell, -4 in Rockwall, -3 in Wiley, McKinney. A brisk -8 degrees is what it feels like for you this morning, and it does not improve too much in the next couple of hours. I'm thinking we still stay at about 10 or 11 degrees at least through the mid-morning. It'll still feel like sub-zero temperatures out there. 18 degrees expected by around midday, about 24 degrees at 4 in the afternoon. I'm expecting temperatures, though, to improve, barely above freezing Saturday. Forney, Little Elm, Mansfield, and Saginaw, about 34, 35 degrees on Saturday and in the low 40s on Christmas Day, Sunday. So improvements are coming. We just have to hang in there. Now, we were talking about this cold air that's in place, and obviously we always think about our energy demands. Ariel Plasencia is here this morning. You were talking about how we reached some of those peak demands kind of early.
Absolutely. Well, yesterday, ERCOT said originally we were not going to reach that peak until early this morning. Well, if you were awake last night at 10 p.m., we had 74,000 megawatts of demand. ERCOT said the peak was going to be 70,000. So last night at 10 p.m., that's exactly where we were. We were already over it. Let's check out where we are this morning. This is ERCOT supply and demand graph that updates in real time. And I hover my cursor over here, 6:05 demand forecast. Look at that, 72,000 megawatts. So we're already over what they thought, excuse me, the peak would be, which would be 70,000. Apparently it's so cold in here, I can't find my voice. I'm so sorry. All right, let's try this again. Here we go. 6 a.m. 72,000 megawatts of demand. Available capacity, that's going to be 80,000. Now, obviously, quick note about this graph. That purple line, that's going to be your capacity. The blue line, that's going to be demand. So, I'm so sorry, guys. Obviously, you want enough capacity to meet the demand. That's where we are right now. Now, as we move forward through the day, notice how close these lines get, though. Like, we'll take a look, for example, at 8 a.m., demand forecast 76,000 megawatts. Available capacity only 83. We'll keep moving on as that sun comes up. Those temperatures warm up ever so slightly, right? But when we get to 6 p.m., look at this, 6:40. 67,000 megawatts of our demand, available capacity only 75. So that graph significantly narrows as that night goes on. So of course, that's something that we're going to be keeping our eye on. Now let's talk about operating reserves here. The only thing you need to know about this, look at this number. When this number gets below 2,300, that's when we start to have some concern. So right now we're at 55, doing A-OK, in the green, all normal conditions. Want to make one mention of where our power is coming from, right? Mariel was talking about the wind. That actually is powering a lot of the grid right now. Wind making up about 20% of our energy. So a little bit of good news. It's making it cold, but at least it's helping out the grid here. Last thing I want to mention, that's going to be the Encore outage match. So we'll take a look. Unfortunately, we've got almost 600 active outages, 15,000 effective customers, but Encore says they've got crews working around the clock trying to get those lights turned back on.